Alright, we're going to see if this works. Okay. Okay, so audio's good. Let me check around my site, see who's actually picking this up. Okay, so YouTube's picking it up. Alright, we're going to see if this works. Okay. Okay, so audio's good. Okay, so I've got that shrunk. That pulled up so that I can view what's going on YouTube there. People are able to watch. I currently have viewing now. My mother, because of course she is. They're heading off on a baby shower vacation for my sister-in-law. So that's where they're at the moment. So I'm sure that if she's watching, Kelsey probably is too. Hello. Everyone else there. Yeah, that's literally just got a message from my fiance, like, we're watching you. So I promised everybody that come Saturday, I was actually going to formally announce what my new book is. And I'm excited to finally do that. So I'm going to actually pull it up here, and I'm going to show it to you guys. Hopefully this does what I think it's going to do. Yeah, it does. Okay. First off, big congrats. Not congrats. A big thank you to Emily Zelasco, the colorist of Corpse Corp, for putting this together. It's all backwards. Putting this together for us. This was actually because I was going to do this a long time ago. And that's not what I'm getting into this time. I'm not here to talk about how things keep getting delayed or I get dismotivated to project. That's not what this is about. This is about this new project. I have been trying for years to motivate myself and to find out the right hook to make this project happen. As many of you guys know, I am the writer of this, The Man Who Watched Batman series, of which I reviewed every single episode, all one, what was it? 114? I can look this up. Why don't I look this up for myself? How many are there? If you count the movies and everything, 119 episodes of Batman the Animated Series, alongside some other books, and I had a hard time after that deciding what I was going to do for the next step beyond. And I always had this name, Saturday Morning Fever, originally as my part of my YouTube channel, where I would review or do watch-alongs for different Saturday morning cartoons and similar Saturday morning cartoon content. And I wanted to take that into a book. And instead of doing a review on one Saturday morning cartoon show all the way through, I would do more of an encyclopedia talking about the history of the genre, and trying to cover and bring a light to as many shows as possible. Because Saturday morning cartoons is a genre that often gets looked over, a lot of people don't think about with a very critiquing eye, and that's something that I wanted to bring attention to. So that's why I decided on this book, Saturday Morning Fever. And from there, it was the problem of how I was going to tackle it, what was actually going to be in this book, because I can't put all of it in there. There's hundreds of shows out there, and deciding what to watch or what not to watch has been very difficult. Do I do it chronologically? Do I do it by decade? Do I do it by genre? I went through so many different options of how I was going to do this, and what I ended up deciding on is that I'm going to start, as most people say to do, start with what you know. So, my announcement today not only is the reveal of Saturday Morning Fever, cannot say when it's going to be done by, I have no clue, but I can say that there will be some sort of a presence at Grand Rapids Comic Con. Probably won't be the full book, probably will be me being able to talk more about when a release date will be. By the time we get there, maybe we'll have some promo flyers or something like that, but what we're going to be covering in this first book, I'm very excited about the Toonami era. Specifically, the original Toonami era from, I believe, 1997 to 2008. This was my childhood. For a lot of people, this was the first exposure of Saturday morning cartoons from the East that people got to actually see stateside. It wasn't the first time the anime got brought over, but a lot of people's first exposure to dubbed anime, for better or for worse, came from Toonami, whether it be their first exposure to Dragonball Z, their first exposure to Sailor Moon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually, I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Was for kids. Never mind, forget Yu-Gi-Oh! Gundam was a big one. There wasn't really any other programming block at the time that was doing such a fluid job of going back and forth with American and Japanese shows. And I think it's really cool to see that there. We got a quick comment here, 1 second. Yeah, Richard, glad to see you here in the chat. Good seeing you again. Yeah, that's why I picked this project, is because you really need to pick something that is going to speak to people's language. You need to make something that is going to appeal to as many people as possible. And Toonami covers such a wide variety of things. And there's so many amazing shows to get through. In fact, now that we've announced the book, what our next thing we're going to do here, as we kind of like hang around with people in chat, we're going to try to stay online longer so more people hear what we're doing, is I'm actually going to bring up a link here in a minute. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to go down the line and we're going to look at all of the shows that Toonami aired over the years. I'm going to give my thoughts on the ones I've seen. I'll look in briefly into the ones I haven't seen. And we're hopefully going to have some fun with it. So here we go. Why don't we get a little bit of music going in the background here. Let me know how that balances out in the mix. Let's see here. What do we got to do? We gotta... move things around here a little bit. Let's go without the music. I'm not digging it. Well, silence will be alright. I have to be cautious of what you guys can see or can't see, because I am cropping this pretty significantly. Actually, I can... Hell yeah. I'm gonna kind of... do a little bit of jerry-rigging here to get this exactly how I want it. Okay. There's a lot of different lists actually out there. It can be difficult to track down. Getting this exactly how we want it. Let's see. There's one in particular I've been looking into and falling off of. Because I try to do it by eras. I mean, this book is going to be chronological. So, because Toonami worked on different blocks throughout the years. Let's see what I can do here. Well, that's the specials. It's 2012, the present. That's not what I want. Okay, so here we are. Hopefully this is big enough on screen you guys can see this. So that won't be a problem. I don't have a read on exactly how many people are actually sticking around or how many people are peeking in. It's fine one way or the other, but for those guys who are new here, like I said, this is my new book, Saturday Morning Fever. That's on screen right now, of which we're going to be looking at the entire lineup of Toonami from 1997. Yes, 1997 to 2008. So looking at the shows we actually have to cover here, Cartoon Roulette was a combination of a lot of older DC cartoons, either whether it be Birdman, not Hervey Birdman, but like Birdman, just Super Friends, Fleischer Superman serials, all sorts of great stuff like that, that often gets looked over. Transformers Beast Wars, which I haven't seen in years. Dragonball Z, that's a given. Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, one of the best theme songs in TV history on that show, and the animation is absolutely beautiful. Reboot, whew, I got some experience with Reboot. For those of you guys who didn't see it, if you look at my YouTube channel, you'll see that I did a reaction video where I was like really looking bad at doing a reaction to the animated Reboot, the live action Reboot. They were doing it again. I actually thought the show was pretty decent, and it seems like the more positive I got about the show, the lower the reviews got in my Reboot comments. But I have more views on that angry Reboot reaction than anything else on my channel combined. It's insane. I'm curious to look up what my current view count is on that Reboot video. In fact, I'm going to check that right now, because now I'm curious. I'm using a new thing right now, too, where I'm actually live streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook all at the same time. And I'm probably going to be doing that from now on. I don't know who's going to really pick me up from each. It's just kind of one of those things you have to do in order to keep people invested in what you're doing. Reboot trailer reaction currently has 2,426 views, 51 thumbs up, 9 thumbs down, 70 comments. Wow, okay, that's not what we're talking about today, but still, wow, okay. We got a comment again from Richard here. I'm still figuring out how this stuff works here. I have a tab that's supposed to pull up what you're putting in chat so I can read it a little bit easier. There we go. Okay. The new series was so disappointing, couldn't finish the first episode. That's true. Reboot is my jam. Beast Wars the Sick Pod didn't hold up, though. The animation, we'll get there. I'm curious. I have a lot of mixed feelings a lot of the time when it comes to that kind of animation. What's that called? The Reboot reaction video? You should be able to just look me up on Deadman Inc., youtube.com/Deadman Inc., and it'll be pretty obvious which one it is. I'm not really that happy with that video, to be honest. I feel like although I did think it was really bad when I started watching it, I was playing up a character a little bit. And I'm fine with that. It's just not necessarily how I want to be known on YouTube. It's just another angry white nerd. I'm much more of an optimistic person, and I like to keep that a lot better. So keep looking down the list here. What else we have to cover? Sailor Moon. Now, this is an interesting one because one thing I want to touch on in this book is when you have a lot of these shows that have been re-released multiple times, while I'm reviewing I'm strictly reviewing the version that came out in the States, aired on Saturday mornings, which is very bad in the case of Sailor Moon. Like, it's bad for them. But I do want to touch on the fact that there are other versions, talk about what they changed, and those versions are significantly better. Some of these shows, even unaltered, had HD remakes. HD remasters. For instance, one show we'll talk about way later in this list is a show called Cardcaptors. Looks significantly better in its HD remake, and it actually makes the show so much easier to watch. Because it looks like, outside of its art style, that it came out like last year. It's crazy. We're not going to get through all of these. There's a lot to get through. Super Friends, we already kind of talked about. Thundercats, that was my jam growing up. I don't remember if the Thundercats reboot aired on Toonami. If it did, I will cover it. We'll see about that. Voltron. There are so many versions of Voltron, but this is like old school Voltron. I'll be reviewing that. I am a fan of new Voltron. I am just way behind and need to catch up on episodes of that. Okay, so that's the Moltar block. Now we get into Tom. Batman the Animated Series. Now we start getting into both, more, newer animated stuff from the States. Man. I don't know what else to say about Batman Animated Series other than, just buy my book. But, yeah, it's, in my opinion, the greatest animated show of all time. If not the greatest TV show of all time. If you want to know why, read my book. It's on Amazon. Or if you want a free copy of the first volume, send me an email or send me a message somewhere, and I'll be sure to hook you up. Okay, Dragonball Z was still airing at that time. Gundam Wing. I don't have much experience in Gundam. I've only ever seen one Gundam show, and from what I've heard, it's the one that no one likes. It's the weird tournament one, like Shining Fingers, Undefeated of the East. I haven't seen it in a long time. Real Adventures of Johnny Quest was still going on. Reboot was still going on. Ronin Warriors. Don't know really anything about this show. Let me see what it shows up in the thing known as Japan is Legendary Armor Samurai Troopers. Japanese anime series and manga adaptation. Don't really know anything about it. So yeah, some of these shows I am learning about and I am watching for the first time. That's kind of what's exciting about this book too, is the new stuff. Tenchi in Tokyo, and Tenchi Muyo. Man, Toonami invested a lot into that show. I might have to rewatch a lot of that show, of different things. Just because Toonami aired almost every version, every continued season and sequel show of Toonami on Toonami, either during the days or in the afternoons or what have you. And I don't want to mention it in sorting because I want to keep it chronologically. I think I will mention what stuff aired on the weekday block versus what stuff aired on the afternoon blocks. That's definitely something to look into. We got a lot of stuff to get here, but the main point of this is that we do have people peeking in. We are going to have, people that just are more likely to show up on their Twitch notifications and stuff like that, hey, I'm not dead, I'm still making content. And hopefully, even if it's in shorter bursts, I need to stream more. And a lot of that is going to be me being hey, I just watched this show for the book, and we're going to talk about it. Oh, I missed one back here. Robotech, which was an old, anime that I am watching for the first time right now. Very ambitious show. I was talking about this show with Adam Withers earlier last night, and gave some really interesting feedback on it as someone who actually grew up watching the show. It's got a bigger cult audience than I thought it did. It's definitely a show that I wish got kind of like the Voltron reboot treatment and stuff like that, because it touches on some really unique themes for a kids show that's that old. Tenchi Muyo, Tenchi Universe, 3 different versions of that. Thundercats we already talked about, so that brings us from that covers quite an area even then. That's 1919. No, actually, okay. Tom gets his new look in September 4th of 2000. I remember that. Changing the block, changed from 5 to 7. What do we got new here? Big O. I know I will love this show, but I have not seen it yet, and I am excited to see it. Giant robots, Batman, James Bond, all mashed up into a blender. I'm sure I'll love it. Blue Submarine number 6. Post-apocalyptic anime. We'll see. I don't know. A lot of these I haven't seen. Cardcaptors. Love Cardcaptors. I will be rewriting it for the book. But I do actually have from our previous versions, I have a review of Cardcaptors I will be releasing. A lot of those older reviews that aren't formatted for this book, I will be putting out there. Will be added eventually once I get things set up for my website, deadmaninc.com, which still I need to figure out how to make it look a little bit nicer to start uploading more and more stuff on there. But that's where you're going to find these as the book is being written. You'll see episodes uploaded to there, and you'll see me either talking about it online or reviewing, or actually releasing a edited, Saturday Morning Fever episode like my traditional content on that show. I'm trying to figure out how to get it more streamlined. So it's like it's the editing, man. The editing takes forever, and I'm busier than I've ever been. So anyway, I can just cut that right out and get that, looking great. I would love to do that. I need to be more active on social media and on YouTube and on Twitch and all that. And so a lot more of these like integration platforms and stuff like that are getting more of that set, like really tight knit is what I'm really aiming for here. Blue Submarine number 6. Original Dragon Ball. I'm hopefully I've got a guy in Michigan who, that's his specialty, and I'm hoping to have him as a consultant, at some level. We've talked about these shows before. We're good con buddies, as some people would call it. G Gundam. I believe this is the one that I saw. I'm gonna click it quick to confirm. Yes, this is the one that I saw. And everyone's like, oh, but G Gundam 6. But I'm like, I don't give a crap. G Gundam was for me growing up. And I absolutely loved it. Gundam Wing, we already covered that before. That was still going at this point in one block or another. Hamtaro! Oh, was this a weird fit? Not that I didn't watch it. Let's make a wish true, make it come true, back to you. Hamtaro and the Ham Hams, man. There's so many shows to cover in this new book, but I'm really excited for it. Yeah, Hamtaro and the Ham Hams. It's just, I like it and I appreciate it because of the fact that there was nothing else like it in their programming block. And that has made it very, very unique. Mobile Suit Gundam, I have not seen. I think that's the original. I'm almost positive that's the original, from what it looks like here. So they, went back and, that's kind of interesting that they waited until then to, release, old anime on here. Mobile Suit Gundam. I'm gonna have to watch so much Gundam. For a guy who didn't watch much Gundam, I'm gonna have to watch so much freaking Gundam. But that's okay. That's okay. Okay, what do we got left? We're making progress here. We gotta make it to 2008. And we're at, 2002. Or something like that. Okay, so Mobile Suit Gundam, the 8th MS team, I don't know what that is. Outlaw Star. what is this thing? Never heard of this show. I want to cover as many shows as possible. Powerpuff Girls. Everyone knows Powerpuff Girls. I love Powerpuff Girls. That'll be fun to go back and look through. Gendy Tarakovsky did so much good stuff. Craig McCracken, I think, also is the main guy on that. Like, Tarakovsky did the characters, and then the show was led by Craig McCracken. Superman the Animated Series, so underrated. If you've not bought... Shoot, do I have a copy with me in arm's reach? I do not. If you have not read The Man Who Watched Batman Volume 5 featuring Superman the Animated Series, please do so. It is on Amazon. It is amazing. I don't talk about this book enough. That's going to start changing soon. Read it. It's really, really good. Transformers Armada. Okay, don't know much about that one. We're getting into some new stuff here. Alright, Zoids Century Zero and Zoids Chaotic Century. These would air one after the other. They would be listed during the show as Zoids, but it was like, it would be difficult because you'd watch all the way through one, get to the end of the show, and it would start all the way back on this prequel show that took place, like, decades, if not centuries. I don't remember how big if it's literally 100 years between the two, or not, but, like, radically different tones using the same overall set of toys, as your robot characters. This is definitely the point where you started being like, hey, this CGI technology is actually starting to look really good for Saturday morning cartoons. I'm not sure if it holds up amazing, but it was definitely better than a lot of stuff we had around the time. Another makeover in 2003 is where we're at right now. Astro Boy. Just confirm. Okay, so this is a remake of the 1960s show. The original aired during the April Fool's prank, but they did a remake of the show. That is what they aired on Toonami in 2003. Cyborg 009, not aware of it. Dragon Ball GT is new here. That'll be interesting to talk about. I didn't hate GT as much as a lot of other people did. So, I'm sure I'll have some interesting things to say about it once again. Hopefully we get some cool stuff there. I think they're getting closer to... I think this He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the one that's in 2003, I think this is the remake, which is one of my favorite shows. It's so good. Only made 2 seasons, but it was amazing. It was great. Justice League. There's so much DC stuff to cover, which is why I haven't done a Justice League book yet. Because I don't know when I'm going to get to it. I want to do the rest of Batman Beyond. Maybe do the rest of Superman Animated. Maybe do it as a blog series. I don't know. Rurouni Kenshin. I've seen maybe 3 episodes. But I know it's good. And I'm excited to actually finally watch it. Samurai Jack. Similar situation. Only seen a couple of episodes. Enough to know that it is a fantastic show. But need to watch more of it myself. SD Gundam Force. Don't know anything about it. Okay, we're making our way there. 2000. Toonami Midnight Run. Cartoon Roulette came back. Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. Robotech. Thundercats Voltron. Okay, Midnight Run going forward. Toonami Rising Sun. Do we have anything new there? I mean, I'm sure that I'm going to double check these lists backwards and forwards. Make sure we didn't miss anything on their blocks. Because I know there's other stuff that aired on there. IGPX, which was a Toonami original, I know is in this block somewhere. It's just the blocking information is so difficult. It can be difficult to figure out what goes where. Here we go. We got some stuff going on here. So, Super Saturday, 2003, Dot Hack Sign. Haven't really seen anything from it. The 2002 is the reboot of Masters of the Universe. The Batman, Ben 10 Alien Force, The Batman's really interesting. I really am fascinated by that show. I think that show isn't talked about enough. And I think it really needs to be. Ben 10 Alien Force, they only played the sequel series on this show, so I'll have to watch some of the original to get better context. Blue Dragon shortly aired over here, which is an anime that they were trying to... It was an Xbox 360 exclusive JRPG, which I found fascinating, because those aren't nearly as popular at the time, especially on the Xbox. It was not the place for it, and I feel like that was a big move from them to try to do that, and so they brought over the anime as well. Bobo. It is the best worst show I've ever seen. I've seen absurdist comedy done better than this show. It can definitely be a little bit too childish and a little bit too out there at times. But I do, on the total, I really like it. Dice, definitely in that Yu-Gi-Oh trend, but I don't know where that one slides in. Duel Masters, I remember this, speaking of that Yu-Gi-Oh trend. I can still kind of remember how to play this game, but not really. I remember it was built off of shields and blockers as the main mechanic, rather than having to fight with life points or individual creatures. It sort of was a little bit more in between Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering as far as rule sets go, and I found that kind of interesting. Oh, there's still so many more shows here that I haven't gotten to. Fantastic Four had a TV show at the time. I forgot. I actually forgot about that. We're close to the end here. We're going to wrap this up. Gundam Seed. Don't know much of the difference between those yet. IGPX. Which was, I think, the only one actually made for Toonami. And that's the only place it ever aired. Jackie Chan Adventures. Personal favorite of mine. Absolutely love that show. Justice League Unlimited. Many amazing shows. Markin Awakens Romance. I was going to say, I don't remember this show. I'm looking at it, and I kind of remember this. If only in, some, minor design things. Megas XLR. Whew, yeah, that show's my jam. I dig giant robots. Okay, Naruto and One Piece. What needs to be said? Pokemon finally made their way onto there. Prince of Tennis had a brief run. I remember watching that, and it just took itself way too seriously. Rave Master. I loved this show. So excited to go back and watch some more of that. Hope that holds up. Star Wars The Clone Wars. Never have given that show enough of a fair shake, and really, really need to. Stormhawks. Huh? What is this show? I have no idea. Never saw it. 2007. Teen Titans. Original Teen Titans. Transformers Cybertron. Woolen Warriors. Don't know much about that one. Then we finally get to Yu-Gi-Oh! I think this part is done alphabetical. We'll have to... I'm going to do a lot of research into exactly what order and how these things all get put together in the book. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I'll cover both of those. Yu Yu Hakusho. Another big favorite of mine growing up. And alphabetically last is Zatch Bell, which is another show that I really enjoyed growing up. And that brings us up until they got off the air. Until they went off the air in 2008. Hopefully this won't be the last time this weekend you'll see me online and streaming doing something. I know a lot of you guys aren't going to get through this whole thing. For those of you guys who did, thank you. Thank you very much. Look forward to more details about this book coming in the future. If you want to check out more about it, you can go to facebook.com/Saturday Morning Fever, where this stream is going to be posted. And I'll have more details as far as the rollout and what stuff's going to be going on with this book soon. So, I'm glad to finally get this officially out there. I feel like announcing this stuff and making it out there and to the public motivates me to get things done and really get the ball rolling on things. So, thank you all of you who followed me along on this journey, and I will talk to y'all later. Take care. Waiting out the stream here to turn it off.